All right, let's talk about something huge. There's a massive transformation happening right now, one that could literally redefine global trade as we know it. And we're going to break it all down. This is Africa's supply chain revolution. For decades, the story of global logistics has pretty much centered on the same old players. But that's changing. A new, absolutely essential link is being forged. The whole narrative is shifting, and Africa is moving from the sidelines right into the center of the global trade conversation. So this all leads to the big question, right? Is Africa really going to be the next factory of the world? It's a super compelling idea, but trust me, the answer is way more complex, and honestly, way more fascinating than you might think. Okay, to kick things off, just look at this number. We're talking 3.9%. That's the World Bank's projected GDP growth for sub-Saharan Africa this year. What does that mean? It means it's the second fastest growing region on the entire planet. This isn't just some dry statistic, it's the economic engine driving the whole story we're telling today. But, and this is a big but, here's the paradox. You've got this incredible growth, but the continent still handles less than 5% of world tonnage. It's tiny. So what's the deal? What's holding it back? What's the disconnect between all this amazing potential and the reality on the ground? Well, that's exactly the puzzle we're going to piece together right now. So the first piece of that puzzle, it's the hard, cold reality on the ground, the actual physical infrastructure that everything else, all trade, is built on. See, the biggest bottleneck isn't always about getting goods to an African port. The real challenge, the one that just blows up costs and timelines, is moving those same goods within Africa. And nothing makes this clearer than this quote from supply chain expert Xavier Persinick. Just think about this for a second. Shipping a container thousands of miles from China to a port in Cameroon costs a tiny fraction of what it takes to then move that same container just a few hundred miles inland to Chad. It's wild. I mean, look at this, 6 times the cost. That's not just a number on a chart. It's a massive, fundamental barrier to trade and development across the entire continent. So why? Why is it so incredibly expensive? Well, for starters, you've got 16 landlocked countries that are totally dependent on their neighbors. Then you've got a system that relies almost entirely on roads, which aren't always in great shape. Plus, the rail lines and waterways, they're massively underused. Every single one of these things just stacks on another layer of complexity and, of course, cost. Okay, but this is where the story gets really interesting. Because faced with all these physical roadblocks, Africa isn't just playing catch-up. Nope. In a lot of ways, it's actually leaping ahead. And the classic example of this leapfrogging is in telecom. I mean, think about it. Instead of spending decades building out costly, old-school landline networks, a lot of nations just skipped that step entirely. They went straight to 4G and 5G mobile networks. And that one jump, it has shaped literally everything that came after. Now, of course, it's super important to remember Africa is not a monolith, right? This digital leap is happening, but it's uneven. You've got countries like Kenya and Libya where internet penetration is up there with Europe, like 85%. And then the continent's average is closer to 43%. So this diversity, this contrast, it's absolutely key to understanding the full picture. But that mobile-first world has sparked this incredible wave of homegrown innovation. I'm talking about logistics apps like GoZem and Wizon that are just thriving. We're seeing some of the world's most advanced mobile payment systems, period, right there in places like Kenya and Nigeria. They're even using AI to create intelligent corridors to track goods more efficiently. So the really crucial point here is this. Technology isn't just a tool to catch up. It's a way to design brand new solutions for really old problems. And this innovation, it's not just about apps and code. Not at all. It's happening at a much deeper level. We're talking policy, finance, the whole business culture. Africa is literally writing its own playbook. To really get this, we have to talk about something called the entrepreneurial ecosystem. This isn't just about one brilliant founder with a great idea. No, it's about the entire web of stuff around them. The policies, the investors, the mentors, all the institutions that actually allow new ideas to take root and grow. And here's the thing. Countries are being super intentional about building this. Take Algeria's playbook, for example. They aren't just sitting back and hoping it happens. They are actively creating supportive startup policies, developing brand new local funding models, and even mapping out the entire system just to connect all the dots between entrepreneurs, funders, and the government. And then there's the big one.
the African Continental Free Trade Area, or the AfCFTA. This thing is a total game changer. It's one of the most ambitious trade projects anywhere in the world, and its goal is simple: break down all those internal barriers we talked about and create one massive single market. If this works, it could fundamentally rewrite the continent's economic story.
All this homegrown innovation brings up a really critical question, though. Do these standardized global metrics, like the old doing business report, do they actually capture the unique reality on the ground? A lot of people are now saying, no way. These one-size-fits-all scorecards just don't work for a continent this diverse.
So, where does this all lead? What does the next chapter actually look like for Africa's role in the world? Let's bring it all together.
I think the most important thing to get is this. The path forward isn't about copying what other places have done. It's about contextual innovation. It's about creating new things born directly out of Africa's own unique challenges and its unique advantages.
So let's recap the key takeaways. First, we've seen that Africa's story is a story of paradox, this immense potential bumping up against some really deep challenges. Second, digital tech isn't just a catch-up tool. It's a powerful way to leapfrog entire stages of development. Third, the real game changers, from local entrepreneurs all the way up to the FCFTA, are homegrown. They're coming from within. And finally, and this is so important, Africa is not a monolith. Its diverse realities demand diverse solutions.
When you put it all together, what we're witnessing is nothing short of a profound transformation. The story is shifting from one that's all about logistical challenges to one about digital leadership, and really about self-determination. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As a continent of over 1 billion people forges its very own path, writing its own rules for trade and tech, the real question isn't just what this means for Africa. It's what new ideas, what new solutions, and what incredible new possibilities are going to emerge from this for the rest of the world. Thanks for tuning in.